What is going on, YouTube fam? This your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. If you're new to the fam, be sure to subscribe. Hit that notification bell for future uploads. Let's get right into the story. Nowadays, we are living in a cold time. Just trying to make it to see another day can be hard. Violence is running wild, guns everywhere, and there's always somebody out there trying to make a name for themselves, to the point innocent people even become targets. Compassion seems like a word in the past, when we don't even look at each other as people no more, by ops, bodies, or points on a made-up murder scoreboard. Senseless crimes happen all over the world every day, but some just seem a little bit more wilder than others. And when guns get involved and a point to prove, that's a recipe for disaster. The sad thing is, some people are willing to crash out and get a life sentence just to say they are like that or a killer. To the point, a man putting air in his tire, minding his business, gets hit, or a pastor gets killed because of an incident of road rage, or a young lady being gunned down because too much mayonnaise on a Subway sandwich. Just a few situations to describe the world we are living in. And on this episode of Hood Tales, we will be taking it to Akron, Ohio to discuss a case of two brothers who decided they wanted to see who could collect the most bodies in a murder spree that led to a life sentence. According to sources, in 2018, two brothers, 30-year-old Danye Tyres and his little brother, 28-year-old Orlando Tyres, allegedly decided they wanted to start a new gang based on doing hits. The two brothers pulled up on a young lady, we will call Miss James, who was 21 years old at the time and also fighting an addiction to fentanyl. It was around 3 a.m. in the early morning hours of July 7th when the brothers had a conversation with each other in front of Miss James. They stated they were about to ride around and go body for body, or in other words, see who could shoot the most people. They had a few blicks and told Miss James she would also ride with them, and she would be the first lady of the new gang. As the two brothers and young lady started driving in the Akron streets, they eventually spotted two men coming out of a family member's house, walking to their car. The brothers parked on Schiller Avenue and watched the two men, who were also brothers of Asian descent. That's when allegedly the younger brother Orlando jumped out and shot 46-year-old Bon Reservon after demanding money. And Danye attempted to shoot Bon's brother, but his gun jammed, leaving the other man a chance to run and escape, in which he did. The brothers then hopped back in the car and drove from North Hill to Arlington Street, where Robert McCall, 58 years old, was standing outside. Danye said he recognized the man from jail and stated they were allegedly locked up for like 2 years together. That's when Danye exited the vehicle, walked up to Robert, talked for a minute before he shook his hand, and then shot Robert in the head before he jumped back in the whip, and then the three looked for more victims, in which they told Miss James they both caught one body apiece. Now it was her time. After driving to an alley near 6th Avenue, the brother saw a 51-year-old woman named Christina. The lady was out trying to make money to support her habit, and when the brothers allegedly told her to come in the alley and they would pay her, Christina complied, and once she got in the alley, this time, Miss James had the gun. She put it to the woman's head as she pleaded, asking them why they were doing this, before Miss James squeezed the trigger, but the gun jammed. Christina then began to kick and fight as they tried to grab her, but she was able to escape. By this time, Akron police were wondering why the two victims, Bon and Robert, who both unfortunately died from their injuries, why they were shot in the first place. There was no clear motive or evidence, but Bon's brother, who was able to get away, was able to state what happened to his brother. Also, Christina was able to point out Miss James in the police lineup. She was picked up and taken into custody, and not long after, Danye and Orlando were both picked up as well. The three were all charged The two brothers with 2 murders and 2 attempted murders, and Miss James with assault, attempt, and drug charges. As the case would start making its way to trial, the brothers' attorneys argued it was no DNA evidence, no guns, and Christina, the woman who got away, was only able to identify Miss James and not the 2 men. So really, it wasn't no evidence on the brothers. But eventually, the state would identify its star witness, Miss James, who would take the stand and testify she was an addict at the time of the murders. She was scared of the brothers, that they would hurt her if she did not comply, and to save her own life, she was willing to kill. Christina also testified of the day she was lured in the alley. The brothers' attorneys argued both women were addicts with records, and for that reason, their claims should be evaluated, also stating Miss James was a willing participant. But prosecutors painted another picture of a scared young girl who was manipulated and 2 brothers who just wanted to kill. For her cooperation, Miss James received a light sentence of less than 5 years. As for the brothers, the judge will have some harsh words for them before they both will receive life sentences. As for the families of the victims, they cheered and clapped. The 2 men remained silent and didn't speak during sentencing, and both maintained they were innocent and planned to appeal. Rest in peace to all the innocent people that lost their lives in this case. More of the story, is getting a name for yourself really worth life in prison? Innocent people who are not even in the streets should not count as a body. Really, shouldn't no one count as a body. I understand there's no compassion out here and it's a dirty world. But if that's how you choose to live, you can't expect no compassion either when that court bangs that gavel and says life without parole. So remember, we gotta succeed, not to fail, so we won't be just another hood tale. Man, it's a crazy story, you feel me? So I'm guessing when they went out, when the 2 brothers went out, I don't know if they just told the young lady they was trying to start a gang just so she can go out with them. It seemed like they was looking for a co-defendant, like somebody to ride with them for whatever reason. I would think they would want to do the crime by themselves. But I know the young lady say she was an addict. She testified. She only got like 4.5 years. So of course she home now. You feel me? And the court was trying to say, oh, she was scared and she was manipulated and stuff like that, man. But this is a crazy situation, man. Rest in peace to them people that lost their life. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. This your boy Tony 2 times. Love, fam. I'm out.